Hello, hello.
Hello.
Excellent.
So yeah, thank you everybody sticking around. So now Huemin again, and also the Chadwick. So I believe people don't know Chadwick. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Chadwick Howard. I go by CKHMOD. You can see my work being portrayed here. Actually, the June name's up now. So the piece is called Drama, but I am an executive creative director and based in LA. I've known June and worked with her in the industry now for almost a decade. We've conquered several projects in various studios at a variety of different levels. And yeah, that's kind of what eventually led me here today to talk with you. It's a pleasure. Welcome to that.
Thank you. No, he already did, so.
I'm being facetious.
So I'm curious, you've been sitting and listening to their conversation.
Great talk.
So I'm gonna actually ask the same question. What do you, because you're from the professional 3D, the motion entertainment industry, right? And I believe I will call you like a master of a digital artist and digital director. So moving forward, that you're actually utilizing AI together. And this is very interesting to me because a lot of industry in USA, they really hate.
It's frowned for certain reasons, and I believe some of those topics were touched on the previous talk, for sure. I agree.
Yes,
but you understand pros and cons of it.
Yes, so from hearing from you, that what do you see like about how AI are moving forward in the future, and what do you see yourself doing in 3 years using AI?
I see AI art branching out into a multitude of areas and sectors, not just entertainment. I mean, obviously it's already in the personal sector for personal management. It's going to be utilized for anything. Anything you can kind of use a data set for to program to do it, have to do something, it's going to be there. And I think it's advantageous to start utilizing that. I mean, I'm trying to actually assemble an AI pipeline for just like my managerial skills, you know what I mean? And just actually running artists, because I was running artists globally, and just utilizing those softwares that are actually out there that people are making, I think is advantageous. It just saves a ton of time and it's automated. And I like that aspect. Now for like the creative sector out of it, I mean, I think what we're seeing right now is still in its raw, earliest phases. And I do appreciate those imperfections and those artifacts. But I mean, I'm so ingrained into an industry where we have to deliver a final product that's so fine-tuned and it goes through such an approval process that I admire what a human does, filtering through so many images upon images to find those imperfections, and that's the beauty of it. But for us, it's like we barely, possibly maybe get to filter through a few where we have to deliver that final image, and that gets tweaked upon. But for us, it's a collaborative process, and you have to respect that, because through what I've learned through like directing on top, being on top, and even coming from like an art director standpoint, the fact that it is a collaborative process on all different levels, that's the beauty of it in itself as well. And I think with everyone being on the catalyst and use AI, it opens up new possibilities, because now it puts, well said about common playing ground. I can come from the top art school, and you can come from wherever, but as long as we're prompting together, the beauty of the images, you're going to find your beauty. But again, each AI application, or whatever you want to call it, like Midjourney, has a certain look, certain specific, but it's like you can tune that within your own voice, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Thank you. So, 최진님 같은 경우는 사실 3D를 17년 하셨고, 제가 이렇게 특별히 모신 이유는 사실 미국에서 그런 디지털 기반으로 작업하시는 그런 엔터테인먼트 인더스트리 굉장히 크거든요. 저 같은 경우는 모션 그래픽을 10년 이상 정도 했었고, 그래서 그런 3D 하시고 디지털 하시는 분들에 대한 AI의 반발은 정말 과히 거대합니다. 굉장히 감정적으로 싫어하시고, 한번 쓰면 이제 친구들한테 말하기도 좀 힘들 정도로 막 숨겨서 써야 될 정도로 굉장히 좀 여러 가지 그러한 것들이 있는데, 그런 3D 작가들 중에서도 아주 드물게 그렇게 AI를 이렇게 사용하고 액티브하게 같이 병합화하시는 분들이 아주 소소하게 있어요. 그리고 그거를 굉장히 많은 부담에도 불구하고 이제 디프렌드라든지 사람들이 등을 돌릴 수 있는데, 그럼에도 불구하고 이제 계속 그것을 발표를 하시고 푸시하는 분 중에 한 분이기 때문에 이제 그러한 알력 속에서 어떻게 AI에 대해서 생각하는지 여쭤봤고 역시 굉장히 긍정적인 대답을 해주셨습니다. 네, 그리고 너무 감사하고 그래서 지금 이 대화를 계속 이어가고 싶은데 사실 이번에 휴민님이랑 채드님이 이제 주축으로 그리고 미국에 계신 제프 한이라는 한국인 유일의 그 에미상 디렉터를 받으신 분이 있어요. 그분들을 초대해서 5 to 8 랩이라는 8명의 작가로 한국 또 3D 아티스트랑 AI 작가님들을 초대해서 재미난 프로젝트를 한번 해봤는데 그것이 바로 3D랑 AI를 병합하는 그런 프로젝트였습니다. So I briefly talked about how we put together and got together for 5 to 8 lab because it was so natural, everything was so volunteer.
It really was.
Yeah.
So bright moments and
yeah.
even ran an event for Bright Moments Deforum, and it was just such a wonderful get together and meeting completely new mindsets, and the AI industry was really well done. So thank you for that.
So yeah, I would like to hear from both of you, Huemin. I know that you voluntarily joined, and I would like to hear how was your experience? What is this, for you, this group project?
Yeah, so I think this project was very eye-opening to me. I am so sort of like consumed and absorbed with all the things that I'm working on that sometimes I forget to look around. I get tunnel vision, and so I think working on this project really sort of opened my eyes to the bigger picture, which I think I potentially lost sight of over the past couple months. And I think that especially with these new control nets and these really well fine-tuned stable diffusion models and outputs from 3D software, we can start to do things that we could never do before. And it's an unprecedented level of control over AI animations specifically. And I'm incredibly excited about the future of 3D x AI, and I think at some point AI could replace your render engine for certain things, and that would be fantastic. So great.
We won't get super overly honest. But there's a thing called render time, and every studio goes through it. And sometimes it's the best time because then you get to sit back, put your feet on the desk, and actually have a drink while render time happens. But you're technically working, so that's the best part. But I won't go more technical than that part. Sure. Okay. This project was from June. It's a 5 to 8 lab, and she approached me on would I like to participate and be part of this, and of course I agreed. And there was a concept, there was a theme coming out. I believe it was Shine Tiger, kind of like had a general theme, but that was a beautiful thing. And then it kind of transpired into something a bit more, which is now what we're seeing now, is what dreams may come. And then by that time that happened, we were a bit into production. We also, up front, first and foremost, what this project was going to be about was the utilization and integration of 3D and AI, because it hasn't been done before. And since, like we mentioned earlier, previously, I do come from an industry where technically the utilization of AI is a bit frowned upon, and that's kind of what gave the idea for me to let's make this work. Let's try to integrate this somehow and find a way to control it more and put it into a pipeline that hasn't been done yet. And Jeff Hahn, whose work you'll see here, eventually, he is an amazing, one of my favorite creative directors based in LA from Elastic TV, where we've all been together, and he is one of the few advocates of AI, and he's beyond humble, and I just love the fact that we have that mutual appreciation, and working with him has been a pleasant experience because the conceptual ideas were there, and when I gave him the idea of what I wanted to bring to the table about this aspect, he was instantly on board, and it's just been a thrilling process for them.
So that was a great explanation. So 이 프로젝트를 저희가 이제 새로 실험을 하고 싶었던 이유가 있었던 게 지금 그 미국에 있는 3D나 디지털 인더스트리가 사실은 어떻게 보면 $1 billion 정도 되는 그 정도로 지금 굉장히 산업이 발달해 있는데 AI가 들어오면서 이것을 완전히 확 바꿀 것이다 이런 말들은 이제 계속 되고 있는데 그것을 실제로 실험하는 사람들은 안 보여요. 왜냐면 그것이 너무나 많은 그런 정치적인 이유라든지 뭐 임금이라든지 뭐 사람들의 반발 여러 가지 이유가 있기 때문에 그래서 저희는 인디비주얼 아티스트들이고 이러한 것들을 조금 더 쉽게 진짜 재미나게 하고 싶어서 궁금해서 할 수 있었어요. 그래서 이제 3D 이런 일을 이제 하기 위해서는 3D 완전 전문가, 그 다음에 AI를 정말 잘하는 사람들이 모여야 그런 실험을 하는 단계에서 당연히 고생을 할 것이고 그러한 과정이 줄어들 수 있기 때문에 가장 잘하는 사람들을 초대해서 같이 이렇게 하면서 굉장히 많이 배우고 정말 재밌었던 그러한 프로젝트였는데 한 달 동안 이렇게 고생한 작업물을 또 언커먼 갤러리 대표님께서 또 너무 또 즐겁게 또 전시와 함께 또 저희가 보여줄 수 있어서 너무 좋았고 그리고 지금 현재 코엑스 빌보드몰에서도 볼 수 있고 또 에스팩토리라는 곳에서 비불, 뭐 그래픽, 아나돌, 그리고 크리스티 같은 굉장히 그러한 큰 작가들과도 볼 수 있는 그러한 기회를 주셨어요. 그래서 이런 것들을 놓치지 말고 가시기 바랍니다. 그리고 저는 굉장히 궁금한 것이 이렇게 전혀 만날 수 없었을 것 같은 3D 전문가랑 AI 프로그램을 개발하시고 만드신 분이 만나서 한 프로젝트를 하면서 어떠한 것을 배우고 이것이 어떻게 앞으로 발전될지 그런 것도 굉장히 궁금해요. 그래서 그러한 질문을 할 것 같아요. So it was pretty long, but in Korean, I was trying to explain. Yeah. So I'm curious because we kind of suffer a lot during this experimentation, but it was fun.
It was very unorthodox.
Yeah, and it was really fun and learning experience. So I would like to learn like what did you guys learn, and then how do you guys see this project is actually how can I say develop and where it can go.
Well, I mean, I think what I've learned through this project was the fact that I just approach with an open mind, the fact that I know my application just as well as Irina Angles knows Stable Diffusion Deforum. I felt confident enough that we would actually reach our end goals through an experimental process. So I kept that with an open mind. And R&D is like, I think, one of the most fantastic aspects of creation. And it's just like allows any artist, every artist out there, even people in his 3D, he's always done R&D. That's what he's done through every day. It's technically an R&D project as well. You know, so the same approach it's all there. It's all methodical, but at the same time, it's just that application to understand what you need. So once we start talking about what he needed, I knew exactly how to get what he needed. And then once I realized what he was doing, I learned how to begin to fine tune on my end and back and forth. And therefore, that's what we kind of like grew from that. And where I see this going, it's just, I mean, this is just scratching the surface right now from what I understand and how I see it. And I just think it can possibly go anywhere, even just like render times to experimental to even taking it further into like integrating it more into a pipeline with live action. I mean, the possibilities are endless. It's just figuring it out, but what I can really work with him to control it more will actually open up to more possibilities of what areas that we can kind of take it in.
Yeah, I think when it comes to sort of these AI tools, there are no, professional tools. They're all just hacked together pieces of code. And it sometimes makes working with AI very challenging and difficult because you may want to push it a little bit further than the code allows you to. And so it was definitely a process trying to figure out, which tools are the best to use for something like this. And I think the closest thing to a professional tool right now is sort of the Deforum extension on sort of the automatic 111 Stable Diffusion web UI. But as I mentioned before, this project has sort of been eye-opening. Like I'm a developer myself, and I think creating a professional tool or a plugin for 3D software could be incredibly beneficial. In terms of sort of like the workflow and the process, it was very back and forth, trial and error. From the AI side, I would, try something, it would look amazing. I would make a small change and it would just break. So it's sort of like these AI specifically, or like in particular, is very, very complex, and you're constantly sort of walking on a knife's edge. And if you go a little bit too far in this direction, everything falls. If you go a little too far in this direction, everything falls. So it's a very sort of demanding process. And I think with better tools, we can certainly.
Did you have fun?
Oh, of course.
Mission accomplished. Yeah.
It was very fun. It was very fun.
That's part. It was completely unorthodox from any pipeline I've ever worked, and that's the beauty of it, because it just becomes so stagnant, and we know it, and therefore it becomes a drill. But this is just so much fun to bounce from this point A to point G to point Z back to B. And, okay, so where does this all fit into place? And then eventually you piece it back together from the pipeline that you already know. And that's just been a thrill to work with you on that, man. So I really appreciate you jumping on this project. It's been fun.
It was a blast.
Appreciate it.
네, 지금 이제 그 원래 어떤 그런 프로세스 3D랑 AR을 병합하면서 사실 저희가 고생을 정말 많이 했고, 왜냐하면 사전에 케이스 스터디가 없어서 모든 것을 다 실험을 해야 됐었는데, 사실 재미없는 그런 테크니컬한 약간 부분 설명하기 되게 힘들지만 뭐 패스 뭐 받아서 같이 렌더하고 여러 가지 그런 과정에서 계속 실패하면서 새로운 룩을 막 테스트 해보고 그러면서 계속 이제 결과로 나아갔는데, 그것이 쉽지는 않았는데 굉장히 재밌었고 항상 계속 하면서 이렇게 배웠던 것 같아요. 서로 너는 뭐 이거 3D 했는데 이렇게 안 돼갖고 뭐 다시 렌더해서 AR을 또 뭐 프롬프팅해서 뭐 룩을 입히고 뭐 한번 제 눈 돌려보기도 하고 진짜 여러 가지 많이 해봤는데, 그러한 결과물이 사실은 지금 네트워크 룸이랑 빌보드랑 엑스팩토리에서 지금 전시가 되고 있는데, 저것은 아마 빙산의 일각이라고 보시면 될 것 같아요. 그러니까 저희가 실험했던 게 뭐 굉장히 타이트한 스케줄 한 달 안에 이렇게 딜리버리를 하려고 하는데, 보통 3D로 완전히 만들면은 그것이 뭐 두세 달 걸릴 수도 있는 것을 컴팩트하게 AI라는 그런 새로운 또 파이프라인을 가져와서 실험을 하면서 실패를 굉장히 많이 하면서 또 파이널 딜리버를 하기 위해서 그 중간에 그러한 실패했던 룩들은 사실은 보여주고 있지 않거든요. 근데 우리는 이제 알고 있죠. 그러한 수많은 실패를 했다는 것을. 그러한 점을 감안하고 이제 작품을 보면 조금 더 다르게 느껴지지 않을까. 그래서 저희가 이런 프로세스 얘기를 하는 것이 중요하다고 느꼈고, 그리고 이런 것을 할 수 있게 도와주신 이제 AI 네트워크 정말 감사하게 생각하고 있고, 그리고 이러한 파이프라인을 사실 쉐어한다면 저는 이것이 약간 업계에 굉장히 이볼루션, 어떻게 보면 혁명을 가져오지 않을까라는 생각이 들었어요. 그래서 그러한 부분을 조금만 얘기하고 이것을 랩업하면 좋을 것 같아요. 왜냐면은 지금 모든 그 산업 구조 체계가 어떻게 보면 뭐 디렉터가 있고 밑에 디자이너가 있고 어떤 체계가 있는데, 그런 것이 어떻게 보면 AI를 가져오면서 무너지게 되는데, 이것을 아직까지는 성공한 케이스가 없는데 저희가 어느 정도는 이제 해놨는데, 이러한 프로세스 자체를 컨설팅을 해가지고 사실은 이것들을 완전히 산업 구조 자체를 바꿀 수가 있기 때문에, 저는 그런 점에서 또 다른 점에서 이 프로젝트가 중요하다는 생각을 했었어요. 그래서 디렉터님과 휴민님한테도 어떻게 해서 이 프로젝트가 중요하고 이런 것을 물어보고 싶었어요. So I just talked about the point of view that how this project is evolutionary and innovative, more like a industry perspective, and then changing whole entire pipeline. So I would like to have a little bit of conversation of that, because you're actually coming from professional industry. So how would you say why this is so important and why this is important?
First and foremost, AI, what it does, it expedites things on a faster level, of course, prompting. To generate the amount of style frames and ideas that we came up with, I could have used, I think I mentioned Garage, I could have used a team of 3 to 4 designers, and that could easily take 2 weeks to come up with the ideas that you see and the exploration that we have. But with AI, we managed to hit that in a couple days. That alone, to me, is groundbreaking, and I feel like every industry should start approaching this, because of the time saving, the thoughts and the ideas that you can get through. You can really lock your idea down from 0 to 100 and no time flat. That's the beauty of it. From a pipeline perspective, right now, going through a little bit of R&D, it also, this is a bit chaotic in some regards, but it makes sense. It's just like finding out what you need. Same thing as me finding out what a VFX compositor needs, what type of layers of this, whatever it might be. And it's like, really, then how do you problem solve? Because my position, when I manage artists, and I manage artists from Tokyo to London, is the fact that I have to actually constantly problem solve. And even on with the 3D models from grabbing from the Houdini, like the character, and the way it animates on, I mean, there's even pipeline problems within the 3D because that's just a natural problem solving that happens between these softwares. So with AI, it felt more streamlined because you know your files and environment, and that's the easy part of it. And I think actually, once I work with a case study, this can be implemented to any type of pipeline. This can definitely be implemented into like a live VFX pipeline or a motion graphics pipeline, so I was trying to achieve, or something's going on, it's pretty crazy out there, but anyway, but I mean, it's just there, and it's just like how you approach it, and if you know what you need to do to get from point A to point B to a final delivery, you can make that happen, and it's modular in those regards, where you can take that piece, move it here now, and I can move it there. It doesn't have to be A, B, C, D, E. Like, that's the beauty of it. That's what I really enjoy working on with this process with you.
Yeah, I guess I'm looking around this room and I'm seeing a lot of really amazing text to video pieces. And, you know, right now, it's hard to control these things, but, you know, tomorrow, it might be easy. So, yeah, I think experimentation is really important, and, you know, we definitely had some back and forth, just seeing what worked and what didn't. But ultimately, we sort of communicated really well, and I think that was the most important piece for executing on this project. And what's great too is the fact, you know, a lot of people are complaining about AI, you know, potentially taking jobs or, you know, something along those lines. I think if anything, it's just, you know, adding to what already exists and sort of maybe introducing new jobs for professional industries.
Definitely. This became viral in Netflix. They actually wanted to hire hire out manager. They wanted to pay 200K. 한국 돈으로 한 9억? 900K. Oh, sorry, 900K. Sorry. Yeah, 한 9억, 10억 정도 이렇게 그 사람이 하면 오면서 entire 팀이랑 디파트먼트가 없어질 수도 있다는 거예요. 그래서 그것이 산업 전반을 바꾼다는 뜻이 AI가 바꾼다기보다는 AI를 아는 사람들이 take over 한다는 그런 뜻이기도 한데 아무튼 이런 재밌는 얘기는 사실 더 할 수 있지만 사실 지금 이제 시간 관계에서 멤버를 해야 되기 때문에 So yeah, thank you so much. I think the whole point, we had fun, you know, collaborating. The people probably usually not collaborating, which is very uncommon. And and we're actually presenting this uncommon gallery, but I think this process was really fun, and I believe I learned a lot. I believe everybody learned a lot. I think that's the whole point. Yeah, so using the new tool, we're having fun, you know, making a statement. So I think if you have anything you guys want to share for the last words, could you share again?
I just wanted to give a shout out and say thank you to everybody who made a contribution to this process to get this curation from the beginning. When I know you started to come on, all these talks that happened and transpired, and everyone being supportive. Thank you, Shine Tiger, for just kicking ass. Part of my project, I'm not going to say that, but I was just in it. So, no, I just really appreciate it. It's just been, it takes a team. Like I said, it's a collaborative process. And once you learn how to do that, let go of your ego, and just everybody is on board for the same objective, you achieve goals like this. And thank you, everyone.
Last word. Hope for you.
No last words. I'll just say thank you.